Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into a book that's become essential reading for anyone who wants to understand how change happens.
Yeah.
The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell.
It's amazing how Gladwell connects these seemingly random things,
Right.
trends, crime waves, even like the spread of yawns,
Yeah.
and shows how they kind of explode in popularity given the right circumstances.
Exactly. And what we're going to do in this deep dive is zero in on how these principles can help entrepreneurs like you achieve incredible success in business.
Yeah.
We've got some fascinating research and real-world examples from the book to unpack, so get ready for some serious aha moments.
Gladwell's insights are so incredibly relevant for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because they reveal the mechanics of how ideas and products gain traction
Right.
and ultimately tip into widespread popularity.
First up, Gladwell talks about the law of the few.
Mm-hmm.
It's this idea that a small group of highly influential people
Right.
can have a disproportionate impact on spreading information and trends.
Yeah, it's not about reaching everyone at once.
Right.
It's about finding those crucial individuals Gladwell calls connectors, mavens, and salesmen.
Oh, I like that.
Connectors are the master networkers.
Okay.
Mavens are the information specialists.
Uh.
And salesmen are the masters of persuasion.
Gladwell uses the example of Hush Puppy's shoes.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah.
They were practically dead in the water in the early 90s.
Literally.
And then suddenly, they were everywhere.
Everywhere.
It turned out that a handful of fashion-forward individuals in New York's East Village started wearing them.
Yep.
And boom, a nationwide trend was born.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Who are the key influencers?
Right.
The connectors, mavens, and salesmen in your target market.
Yeah.
Because engaging them can be more powerful than any expensive marketing campaign.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Now, here's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Gladwell introduces the stickiness factor,
Okay.
which means it's not just about getting your message out there. It's about making it memorable and impactful.
Even small changes in how information is presented can make it stick in people's minds.
Yeah.
And this is crucial for entrepreneurs.
Right.
You need to craft messages that resonate deeply with your target audience.
Yeah.
Something clear, concise, and compelling.
One example Gladwell uses is the creation of Sesame Street.
Oh, wow.
You wouldn't think a children's show involves so much science.
Right.
The creators actually used distractor studies,
Interesting.
where they carefully tracked which segments held kids' attention.
Wow.
They learned that preschoolers don't respond well to drawn-out arguments or complex dialogue.
Makes sense.
They need clarity and simplicity,
Yeah.
which is a great lesson for anyone trying to communicate effectively.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
Right.
I mean, even adults get turned off by confusing messages.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Totally.
Okay.
Another example Gladwell highlights is the work of Lester Wonderman,
Okay.
a marketing pioneer who worked with the Columbia Record Club. By simply tweaking a TV ad,
Wow.
he dramatically increased customer response,
That's amazing.
proving that even the smallest details can significantly impact the stickiness of your message.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about the power of context.
Okay.
Gladwell argues that our environment significantly influences our behavior, often in ways we don't even realize.
Yeah.
He opens this section with a pretty intense story about Bernie Guts,
Oh, yeah.
the man who shot 4 youths on a New York City subway in the 80s.
Right.
It was a shocking incident that reflected the city's escalating crime problem.
Mm-hmm.
Gladwell uses this story to show how even subtle aspects of our surroundings,
Yeah.
like a graffiti-covered subway car,
Right.
can dramatically impact our actions.
It's crazy how our surroundings can affect us.
It's a powerful illustration of how context matters.
Totally.
But he also talks about how these do apply in more positive situations, right?
Exactly. Gladwell talks about the broken windows theory, which suggests that addressing minor signs of disorder,
Okay.
like vandalism or litter,
Uh-huh.
can actually help prevent more serious crimes.
So how does this apply to running a business?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
Creating the right environment,
Yeah.
paying attention to seemingly insignificant details,
Right.
can actually influence customer perception and behavior.
It's all about shaping context to your advantage.
Exactly.
Imagine walking into a store that's messy and disorganized.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't have a lot of confidence in their products or service.
No, not at all.
Right. It makes you question if they care about the details.
Right.
Okay. On to another fascinating concept from the book.
Okay.
Transactive memory.
Transactive memory.
It's basically how we rely on others within a group to store and retrieve information.
Okay, so like shared knowledge.
Yeah, think about a really effective team.
Okay.
Each person has their own area of expertise,
Mm-hmm.
and they trust each other to hold that knowledge.
Gotcha.
Gladwell uses the example of Gore-Tex,
Mm-hmm.
a company known for innovative fabrics.
Yeah.
They structure their teams to be small and close-knit,
Okay.
which encourages trust and a free flow of information.
That makes sense.
It's almost like a hive mind, everyone working together seamlessly.
Yeah.
Gladwell also mentions this rule of 150.
Oh, interesting.
The idea that 150 is the maximum number of people we can maintain genuine social relationships with.
Wow.
It's a fascinating concept
Mhm.
with big implications for entrepreneurs
Yeah.
as your company grows.
Right.
It's worth considering how to structure your teams and organization
Mm-hmm.
to maintain that sense of connection and trust.
Yeah.
Smaller, more intimate teams can be incredibly effective
I can see that.
because they allow for deeper relationships.
Totally.
So instead of striving for massive growth at all costs,
Yeah.
it might be wiser to focus on building a network of smaller, tightly knit teams.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Okay.
What else?
Last but not least, Gladwell dives into the importance of identifying mavens. Those individuals who have a wealth of information and influence within their social circles.
Right.
He uses the example of Lexus
Oh, okay.
and how they went above and beyond to satisfy customers during a recall. By proactively addressing customer concerns and exceeding expectations,
Yeah.
Lexus effectively turned those customers into mavens,
Right.
who then raved about the brand to their friends and family.
It's a brilliant example of how going the extra mile can turn customers into like passionate advocates for your brand.
So how can entrepreneurs find these mavens and harness their power? It seems like finding a needle in a haystack.
It's not always easy,
Right.
but it's definitely worth the effort.
Yeah.
One effective strategy is to like actively seek customer feedback.
Okay.
Pay attention to online reviews.
Right.
Engage with online communities. And truly listen to what your customers are saying, both the good and the bad.
Right. Those mavens are often the ones who are most vocal and engaged.
Exactly.
You need to be paying attention to what they have to say.
Gladwell mentions Mark Alpert.
Okay. A professor who is a true maven in the world of consumer goods.
Okay.
He's obsessed with finding the best products and deals.
Wow.
And he loves sharing his knowledge.
He sounds like fun.
He's the ultimate shopping buddy.
I need to find this guy. But it illustrates why mavens are so valuable.
Yeah?
They're not just informed, they're enthusiastic and genuinely passionate about sharing what they know.
They become trusted sources of information for their friends and family,
Yeah.
which makes their recommendations incredibly powerful.
Now let's talk about salesmen.
Okay.
We all know the stereotype of the pushy salesperson.
Oh, yeah.
But Gladwell presents a different perspective.
Right.
He focuses on those individuals who are incredibly persuasive, not through slick tactics, but through genuine enthusiasm and a deep understanding of human behavior.
Gladwell points out the importance of nonverbal cues.
Oh, interesting.
Those subtle head nods and facial expressions that can subconsciously influence our decisions. It reminds me of those studies where people are more likely to agree with a message if they're nodding their heads while they listen.
Yeah,
It's fascinating how these small, almost imperceptible cues can have such a big impact.
absolutely. Gladwell also talks about motor mimicry,
Okay.
the idea that we naturally imitate the emotions and behaviors of those around us.
Oh, okay.
This can be a powerful tool for building rapport and creating a sense of connection.
Like when someone smiles at you
Yeah,
and you can't help but smile back,
exactly.
it creates a shared experience.
Right.
So those salesmen aren't just good communicators.
Hmm.
They connect with people on an emotional level,
Yeah,
often through those subtle nonverbal cues.
precisely. Now let's revisit the rule of 150 that we touched on earlier.
Okay.
While it's relevant to team size, it has even broader implications for building a successful business.
So it's more than just how you structure your teams.
Yes. The rule of 150 suggests a natural limit to the number of people we can genuinely connect with on a social level. Once a group grows beyond that number,
Yeah.
it becomes more challenging to maintain the close-knit relationships that
Right.
are so crucial for trust and collaboration.
He used the example of the Hutterites,
Yeah.
a religious group that intentionally splits their communities once they reach 150 members.
Interesting.
They believe that maintaining smaller, more intimate groups is key to their success and social harmony.
It's an interesting example of how this seemingly arbitrary number,
Right.
150,
Yeah.
might actually be rooted in human psychology and social dynamics.
Yeah. Wow.
It's something entrepreneurs should consider as they grow their companies and cultures.
So maybe it's not always about massive, rapid growth.
Right.
Maybe it's about nurturing those smaller, tightly knit groups where genuine connections can thrive.
Exactly. It's about fostering a sense of community and belonging.
Gladwell doesn't shy away from tackling difficult topics.
Yeah.
He explores teenage smoking,
Oh, wow.
looking at the social and psychological factors that contribute to this epidemic.
It's a relevant topic, especially with the rise in teen vaping.
So what can entrepreneurs learn from this?
Gladwell differentiates between factors that make smoking contagious,
Okay.
meaning how it spreads,
Uh-huh.
and the factors that make it sticky,
Oh,
or why people continue to smoke.
right.
He argues that while parents often focus on preventing experimentation,
Yeah.
the real challenge is understanding and addressing what makes the habit stick.
He points out that while nicotine is addictive,
Yeah.
it doesn't hook everyone who tries it.
Right, and even among smokers, there's a wide range of dependence. He introduces the concept of chippers.
Chippers.
Those individuals who can smoke occasionally without becoming addicted,
Oh.
they can take it or leave it.
So maybe understanding what makes smoking sticky could be key to developing more effective anti-smoking campaigns.
Exactly. It's not just about saying don't smoke. It's about understanding the underlying motivations and triggers that keep people hooked.
He also discusses permission givers. Those who often unintentionally
Right.
give others permission to engage in certain behaviors.
Yeah.
With teen smoking, this might be older peers or adults who make smoking seem cool or rebellious.
It reminds us that our actions, even seemingly insignificant ones, can have a ripple effect on others.
And that's a powerful insight for entrepreneurs as well.
Totally.
What messages are you sending through your branding and marketing?
Yeah.
Are you unintentionally giving permission for behaviors or attitudes that don't align with your values? It's something to think about.
Absolutely. Finally, Gladwell explores mass hysteria.
Oh, okay.
How seemingly irrational behavior can spread rapidly through a group.
Okay.
He uses the example of a strange illness that broke out among school children in Belgium.
Oh, wow.
It turned out to be caused by a harmless batch of Coca-Cola that simply had a bad smell.
It's a fascinating example of how contagious our perceptions and emotions can be.
It highlights the importance of critical thinking and not blindly accepting everything we see and hear, which is especially important in today's world of misinformation.
That's a valuable lesson for all of us, not just entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
We've covered a lot of ground today, and The Tipping Point has even more to offer.
Yeah.
It's a book that challenges your thinking and helps you see the world in a new light.
For sure.
So for our listeners out there who are like building businesses,
Yeah.
what's the biggest takeaway from all this?
Yeah, that's a great question.
How can they actually apply these ideas?
The core message is that success isn't always about like grand gestures or huge budgets.
Right.
It's about understanding these subtle factors that can give you a serious advantage.
Right.
The tipping point gives you a framework for making that happen.
It's about finding those key influencers,
Yeah.
crafting messages that stick,
Mm-hmm.
and creating the right environment for your ideas to, like, catch fire.
Exactly. It's about understanding why people do what they do.
Yeah.
Like how social influence works,
Right.
how context shapes our behavior.
And those deep-seated patterns
Yeah.
that drive our actions.
It's like Gladwell gives you a new set of lenses to see the world and your business in a whole new way.
Absolutely. And that's what makes it so valuable for entrepreneurs.
Right.
Once you understand these principles, you can use them strategically to reach your goals.
So let's get practical.
Okay.
What are some concrete steps our listeners can take to put these ideas into action?
First, identify those key influencers in your market.
Okay.
Who are the connectors, mavens, and salesmen
Right.
who can help spread your message?
Yeah.
Think about how to build authentic relationships with them.
Don't just treat them like targets in a marketing campaign.
Exactly.
Think about how you can genuinely add value to their lives.
Right.
How you can be a resource for them.
People can spot a phony a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
Authenticity is crucial.
Next, look at your messaging.
Okay.
Is it clear, concise, and compelling?
Yeah.
Does it have that stickiness that makes it memorable and shareable? And don't underestimate the power of context.
Oh, that's right.
Are you creating the right environment for your ideas to thrive?
Yeah.
Are you sweating the small stuff, those little details
Uh-huh.
that can have a big impact on how people see your brand?
It's about the big picture,
Yeah.
the whole experience you're creating for your customers.
Finally, remember that relationships are everything.
Okay.
Prioritize those strong, tight-knit teams
Mm-hmm.
where trust and shared knowledge can flourish.
And keep that rule of 150 in mind
Oh, yeah.
as your business grows.
Right.
Think about how to maintain those smaller, more intimate units where real connections can happen.
Because in the end, success is all about those human connections.
This has been a fascinating deep dive into the tipping point.
It really has.
We've just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's given you some valuable insights to apply to your own ventures.
If you're ready to go deeper,
Yeah.
we highly recommend checking out The Tipping Point yourself. You can find a link in the show description
Yes.
where you can purchase the book.
And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button
Yes.
so you don't miss out on future deep dives into thought-provoking ideas and groundbreaking concepts.
We're always searching for those hidden gems of knowledge
Right?
that can help you navigate our complex and ever-changing world.
So until next time,
Yes.
keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing boundaries.
I love it.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.